Welcome to the Interclass Social Studies class debate between 3E and 3F. I'm Javen from class 3E and I'll be the chairperson for this debate. This time, the timekeeper will be Mukunda from class 3F. The motion for the debate is this House believes that meritocracy works well for Singapore. Our dictator today is Mr. Seow Yongzhi. For side proposition, we have Brandon Lai, Kyler Mouse, Sean Payak, and Daniel Kushari from class 3E. For side opposition, we have Isma Kiran, Sean Low, Wang Zhihan, and Wu Qingzheng from class 3F. Please switch your mobile to silent mode. You may take photographs of this debate. This session will be video recorded. Please do not cheer or clap in the middle of a speech. You may knock your table to support an argument or point. You may clap only at the end of each speech. Each speaker will speak for 5 minutes. The bell will ring once when 1 minute has passed, once when 1 minute is remaining, and twice when time is up. Each speaker will be judged based on their substance in terms of strength of argument and supporting evidence, and on their style, in terms of clarity of presentation, confidence, posture, and eye contact with the audience. Points of information are permitted. All speakers can offer rebuttals in their speeches. Without further ado, I call upon the first speaker of the proposition, Brandon, to deliver his speech.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Brandon from Team Proposition, and I'm here with Kyler, Sean, and Daniel. I stand before you today in firm affirmation of the motion that meritocracy works well for Singapore. My focus will be on how meritocracy benefits students in Singapore. Firstly, meritocracy ensures fairness and equal opportunities for all students in Singapore education systems. Students are judged based on their abilities and efforts rather than their socio-economic background or family connections. These principles ensures that a child's success in education not predetermined by their family wealth or social status, but rather by their own abilities and effort, making it fair for all students. Like what our country's national pledge says, regardless of race, language, or religion. Therefore, everyone has a fair chance to succeed. For example, scholarships and financial assistance programs are available to support students from low-income families, ensuring they can success quality education and pursue their aspiration. It's like a game of chess, where it doesn't matter what color you are. It's all about how you play the game. Secondly, meritocracy encourages excellence and motivates students to strive success when students know that their achievements are based on their own merits. It drives them to support harder and excel academically. This creates a competitive environment where students push themselves to reach their full potential, benefiting not only themselves but also society as a whole. With these competitive spirits, students are motivated to work hard and excel academically. The intrinsic motivation drives students to pursue their passions, set ambitious goals, and strive for continuous improvement, resulting in a highly motivated and driven student population. Hence, it fosters a culture of excellence and innovation providing opportunities for talented individuals to thrive and excel. Lastly, meritocracy fosters a merit-based culture of learning and growth. In a system where rewards are tied to performance, students are encouraged to focus on self-improvement and continuous learning. In Singapore, with such a rigorous educational system, rewards and recognition are directly tied to performance and achievement. This means that students who demonstrate excellence in their academic pursuit, extracurricular activity, of leadership roles are rewarded accordingly. This creates a strong incentive for students to focus on self-improvement and strive for excellence in all aspects of their education. This instills valuable skills such as resilience, determination, and adaptability. Wait, I cannot see. Which are essential for success in today's fast-paced world. In conclusion, just like my plate at the buffet, meritocracy has the right mix of ingredients: fairness, motivation, and continuous learning, which makes Singapore an education system a recipe for success. And remember, just like in cooking, it's not just about the ingredient, but how you mix it together. So let's continue to stir the pot of meritocracy and see what delicious outcome we can cook up for Singaporean future. Thank you.
Thank you, Brandon. I now call upon the first speaker of opposition, Kieran.
So what Brandon argued is that meritocracy provides an environment for students which is fair. So that means everybody starts at the same level. But what meritocracy does not consider is where that student was born. So for example, a student might be born in a poor family and a student might be born in a rich family. The student in the rich family has much easier access to tuition services, right? Unlike the poor person. Now, okay, he did say that MOE does offer scholarship awards for, to balance the playing field somewhat. However, how do you earn those scholarship awards is through academic excellence. And academic excellence can be contributed greatly through the use of tuition. And for that poor student who can't really afford it, it would be much, much harder for them to achieve a scholarship and get into a university that they want. Secondly, he said that meritocracy, creates an environment where students are very competitive and they always want to improve. However, I would like to argue that meritocracy produces stress and anxiety among students, right? So this stress and anxiety causes, point?
Oh yeah, so you mentioned that students can go for extra tuition.
Yes.
But those who don't have money to go for tuition, can't they also ask their teachers in school for extra help on the slides that they need?
That is true.
And it doesn't necessarily mean that those who go to tuition, they will actually listen to tuition.
That's true, but the thing is, right, tuition has extra lessons and tuition is more personal, like it's more like one-to-one.
So you're saying a one-to-one to the teacher is not personal.
But But I would argue that based on experience that tuition teachers are somewhat better than school teachers, from my experience at least. I'm not sure about the rest of
Yeah, I
them.
wouldn't take that.
Okay, so moving on, back to stress here. So this stress causes students to be very anxious about all their grades and etc. here. So this anxiety will cause students to act on their own behalf, valuing themselves more than the community, their parents, etc. And what can this cause? This can cause social tensions among community members. And this could even, if it goes really far, in a crisis per se, the neighbors won't really trust each other anymore because of the social tension produced by the stress caused by the high stakes examinations such as the PSLE, GCE O level, and GCE A level.
So you mentioned that stress can be bad for students.
Yeah.
John.
So you said that stress can be bad for students, but actually stress isn't necessarily bad. It can build character, and it also it can help a student, right, deal and cope, learn how to cope with stress. Because let's say in the future, you go into the workforce. Workforce, there's always going to be a lot of stress. You need to learn how to cope with it. And by doing this, you can learn from a young age.
But don't you think it's too much stress to be put on a young 12-year-old for PSLE, determining their whole future based on what secondary school?
I think it's quite fair.
You think it's quite fair? Okay. Anyway, meritocracy, the education system in Singapore focuses mostly on academic achievement, like how well have you done for your math exam, how well have you done for your science exam. But what they don't really consider is how your critical thinking is, what's your emotional intelligence, those practical skills that you will have. And because of that, because they don't really value those particular skill sets, that will result in when they all grow up, the workforce is less capable to handle with international situations. Because sure, the whole workforce is, comprised of top scorers, right? The A1, A1, A1. But what the workforce might not have are very creative students, students with very good critical thinking, and etc. So this workforce will cause Singapore to be not as competitive in the global market as perhaps other countries, and that will hamper economic growth, and businesses might not want to move here, and that hampering of economic growth may cause the government not to have enough resources to invest in the needy, to build infrastructure, and to prep for the future. So, in summary, meritocracy, whilst it does somewhat, whilst it has boosted Singapore's economy from the 1950s and etc., I think it needs change if we want to keep on building this country as it has been. Thank you.
Thank you, Kieran. I now call upon the second speaker of Proposition, Kyler.
Thank you, Brandon, for your compelling arguments, and Kieran as well. Before delving into my additional points, let's address some concerns raised by Kieran. While it's true that meritocracy is a cornerstone of Singapore's education system, Kieran argued that it could exacerbate inequality or lead to excessive pressure on students. However, we contend that meritocracy, when implemented effectively, serves as a mechanism for equalizing opportunities and fostering excellence among all students, regardless of their backgrounds. And on a side note, example is I always lose my phone and I left it on silent, and I always get stressed out, but that stress actually helps me to find my phone so yeah. Now building up upon the points that Brandon made, let's delve further into why meritocracy is not only beneficial for the students, but it also helps for businesses and the economy as a whole. Firstly, meritocracy ensures that businesses have access to a skilled and talented workforce. For example, it's like having a team of superheroes ready to tackle challenges that come their way instead of capes, but they're armed with resumes and LinkedIn profiles. With meritocracy, business can recruit employees who are genuinely capable and motivated, leading to increased productivity and innovation. This will result in businesses becoming more competitive in the market, achieving greater efficiency, and ultimately experiencing growth and prosperity. When employees are encouraged to do their best, they work harder to come up with new ideas to improve the business, and this boosts productivity and helps companies stay ahead of competition. When businesses thrive, they create more jobs and contribute to the economy, and meritocracy helps companies grow and succeed, which in turn boosts Singapore's overall economic growth and prosperity. And that's why I don't agree with Kieran's argument and statement.
Okay, so basically you said that meritocracy leads to better future prospects in the economy, right? About workers, they will have better plans for the company, letting them expand their businesses. But the thing you forget is meritocracy is based on rewards. Why should workers do something to benefit the economy, even though, what would they benefit? So what if I do this?
You get a raise.
What if I plan something for my business? What will I benefit from, or helping out my business doing better? What type of investments do I get?
You'll get a raise, more money, stable job. Maybe you get a house if you with the money that you get from the raise.
But Singapore's economy, housing prices, everything is very expensive.
That's wrong, because Singapore actually provides subsidies.
But subsidies cannot be enough still, because a lot of people state that
Is enough?
A lot of people
Yeah,
say that.
exactly. Sit down, sit down.
Excuse me. I'm gonna finish my point. I'm gonna waste as much time as I can.
Sit down, sit down.
So enough from that. Secondly, meritocracy instills valuable skills such as resilience, determination, and adaptability in students. When success is tied to performance, students learn to persevere in the face of challenges, bounce back from setbacks, and adapt to changing circumstances. These skills are essential for success in today's fast-paced and ever-changing world, where individuals may be able to navigate uncertainty and thrive in dynamic environments. Students will be able to learn resilience and to not give up easily. Furthermore, developing new values in their life, students may also build self-confidence, as they know that their success is based on their own abilities and efforts. They would achieve success through hard work and perseverance. Students become more self-assured in their capabilities, and this self-confidence enables them to tackle new challenges with courage and conviction, further fueling the growth of development. Lastly, meritocracy provides diversity and inclusivity in the workplace. Meritocracy gives equal opportunities to succeed based on their own merit. This means that individuals from diverse backgrounds and identities have the chance to compete and excel along their peers, regardless of any inherent biases or prejudices. By focusing on objective criteria, such as performance and achievements rather than subjective forces, meritocracy minimizes the influence of bias. No shit.
Say if a student like works very, very hard to ace an exam, right? And what happens if he doesn't do so well? Isn't meritocracy a system that rewards people for hard work? But that student worked hard and he didn't ace the exam, but he doesn't get rewarded.
They obviously didn't work hard enough.
No, he did. He did work very hard, like studied every day. You said to that.
Then how did he not get a result?
Oh,
Sit down, Marty.
Oh, it's not fair, but he asked like 10,000 questions, bro.
Thank you, Kyler. I now call upon the second speaker of opposition, Sean Low.
Okay, it was very pleasant hearing you yap about your nonsense, about meritocracy, about being so wonderful to society. But honestly, meritocracy is so unbeneficial to society. The meritocracy
Use your mic.
system in
Use your
Singapore.
mic. Use your mic.
Oh, sorry. The meritocracy system, while aimed at leveling the playing field, inadvertently widens the gap between the privileged and the disadvantaged. Like, Kieran said that tuition, for example, can benefit people with more money. Affluent families provide their children with superior education, extra education, opportunities, and amplifying their chances of success. Consequently, meritocracy perpetuates socio-economic disparities rather than mitigating them, leading to a system where the affluent thrive while the poverty struggle to break free from the cycle of poverty. Moreover, the relentless pursuit of academic excellence under the regime places immense pressure on students starting from a young age. Like Singapore's system of PSLE. From a young age, we are told that PSLE determines our life, our future, and we all get stressed out about the so-called nonsense of PSLE. Standardized testing and academic achievements become paramount, fostering a hyper-competitive... Yes?
You said that the poor can't really... you said the poor can't really, like, compete as much, but aren't they already provided with... What doesn't meritocracy already provide them education, cheap education for them?
Yes, it does. I do not disagree with your point, but we need to see individual capabilities. You can't be so vague with, oh, so what if I have education? Everyone has education. Like, for example, when you went up to speak, you spoke better than Brendan Lai, and you guys are two different individuals. So you can't presume that everyone is like you. Now sit down, bro. As I was continuing, the hyper-competitive environment is insistent in students to continue in their academic excellence, which further proves my point of psychological damage. The obsession with grades breed a society where conformity outweighs individuality. Students are more focused into fitting the predetermined mold of success rather than pursuing their own talents and passion in favor of their wants. And thus this mediocre yes.
I think that's false because schools also provide creative subjects like art, PE, and stuff like that, D&T, SE.
Yes, but to a certain extent.
Then what do you suggest?
Hmm?
What do you suggest that you should do?
Then what do you suggest they should do instead of
Schools
meritocracy?
should. Okay. Students from lower income families lack the resources, as I said, and are more at disadvantage. Skipping the cycle of poverty for the poor is focused on through academic achievements. The pressure to excel really affects the student concurrently and in their future. This is because students in the past would usually have fear of not doing well in life, not doing well academically. This post-trauma can be brought to adulthood when they start their own job, they'll have the fear of being unable to succeed in the work life. Embracing a holistical approach that values creativity, critical thinking, and personal growth is essential to creating an environment where everyone has the opportunity to thrive no matter their performance, their background, and their capabilities. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Sean. I now call upon the third speaker of proposition, Sean Bayak.
Hello, my name is Sean and I represent the proposition team in today's debate on whether meritocracy in Singapore works well. Allow me to provide a comprehensive summary of the key points discussed during our debate. Brendan began by affirming the motion that meritocracy works well for Singapore, focusing on the benefit it brings to students. He highlighted these three main points. Firstly, he emphasized how meritocracy ensures equal opportunities for all students in Singapore's education, showing how meritocracy is fair for all students and how it motivates them to strive for success by rewarding their achievement based on their own merit, and how meritocracy fosters a culture of continuous learning and growth. Learning how students are encouraged to focus on self-improvement, developing, and learning new values and skills like resilience, determination, and adaptability, which are crucial in today's fast-paced world. Furthermore, meritocracy in Singapore's education systems helps identify and nurture talent from a young age. One way it achieves this is through a rigorous and standardized assessment process. Students are regularly evaluated based on their academic performance, allowing educators to identify those who excel in specific subjects or show exceptional abilities early on. This enables schools to provide targeted support and enrichment opportunities to nurture these talents further, allowing them to reach their full potential. This ensures that Singapore can harness the talents of its brightest mind, driving innovation and progress across various sectors. Additionally, the emphasis on meritocracy encourages healthy competition among students, pushing them to come out of their comfort zone and achieve their goals. Looking at the next statement, Kyler also mentioned how meritocracy ensures businesses have access to skilled and talented employees. He also mentions that meritocracy fosters a culture of competition and excellence within the business sector, encouraging individuals to strive for improvement and innovation. Lastly, meritocracy promotes diversity and inclusivity. in the workplace by focusing on merit rather than background, leading to more creative solutions and better decision makings. Overall, meritocracy benefits businesses by providing access to skilled employees, promoting competition and innovation, and fostering diversity and inclusivity in the workplace. In conclusion, meritocracy stands as a cornerstone in both education and business realms, fostering fairness, excellence, and growth. For students, it ensures equal opportunities, motivates excellence, and cultivates a culture of continuous learning. Meanwhile, in the business sector, meritocracy facilitates access to skilled talents, promotes competition and innovations, and encourages diversity and inclusivity. Together, these elements propel Singapore forward, driving economic growth, fostering social mobility, and ensuring a competition edge in the global landscape. Meritocracy isn't just a concept. It is a guiding principle that empowers individuals, businesses, and the nation as a whole to thrive and succeed. Therefore, meritocracy indeed works well for Singapore, providing a solid foundation for a fair, competitive, and prosperous society. Yes.
Meritocracy prioritizes academics more than creativity. How would businesses excel in the workforces? If meritocracy is like Singaporeans are all book smart, we all know this. So if we're all book smart but not street smart, how are we going to survive in the global market?
Subjects such as art, D&T, FCE, and even physical education is here to help you promote this type of creativity outside from normal educations. Therefore, meritocracy indeed works well for Singapore, providing a solid foundation for a fair, competitive, and prosperous society. Hence, I think we should win this debate.
Thank you, Sean. I now call upon the third speaker of opposition, Zhihan.
Okay. First, I bring some historical context that why Singapore used meritocracy as a system. As in the past, British government implement meritocracy to governments, the country. This seeking support from local populace. And later, in the 1950s, as British transferred power to Singapore, the Singapore government highly valued talented individuals, especially those with talent and cognitive skills to develop our nation. But however, there's no doubt that meritocracy works well during that period, as millions of talents were recognized and nurtured by the nation. People at that time achieved upward social mobility through their talent and hard work, we cannot define. But I think these systems only be very fair at 1965, when everyone is equally poor. However, now, after the first round, the second round of meritocracies, a group of people, they have been success through meritocracies. They got privilege, and they want positive privilege to their child. Thus, meritocracy, originally convinced as the machines for equal opportunities and social mobilities, becomes a barriers to equal opportunities. So first, I want to continue with Kieran's point. That, however, the rich families not only provide their kids with educational advantages for their children, but also leverage their network to ensure their career opportunities and advancement. This continuous cycle not only widens the gap between the privilege and disadvantages, but also concentrated powers and influence with selective fields. And here I want to answer the proposition, what proposition have said before. Like some people, they might benefit from the meritocracy, but they can use meritocracy as excuse. Like I have tutor, I have extra lessons, compared for the student who study from day to night, but still cannot get a very good result just because they cannot get a quality education. They said that because meritocracy, I success because I work hard, but as we all know, they got some extra resources. we cannot define this. Thus, this creates our society now. The upwards mobility becomes increasingly difficult for those without financial means. And the second point, I want to say that the bias in societal perceptions is continues a culture of elitism, where academic skills is highly valued above all of this. The forms of talent and intelligence are pushing, the forms of talent and intelligence are pushing to the side and discourage the deviation from the conventional path. I think some of you might see or might experience that some people or some students who are not from IP school, or some people they're just from ITE, and they may be looked down by others. As some parents might even point at them, saying to their kids, like, if you don't study well, at least what we are going to do. Our society now still do not value the people who not just have the talent, but also sorry. No thanks. The last point in the meritocracies in our Singapore's working places. With Singapore's meritocracy framework, the emphasis on academic skills, rewarding the professions require academic performance and technological over those who demanding creativity, emotional intelligence, and some hand-on based skills. Like in Singapore, we still feel like a lot of students, they prefer to go to junior college instead of polytechnic or ICTs. Still, some our basic workers like nurse or some cleaners still do not get enough payment and do not being valued enough. And also with job advanced status, the percentage of the job position that they require a degree keeping increasing in Singapore from this decade. Thus, I want to say that compared with the perceived and okay.
Thank you. That concludes our debate. Please exit the classroom as the adjudicators confer on the results.
First, it's very hard to volunteer to speak in front of an audience. So can everyone, give some support to the speakers? I think I'm really quite impressed by them. Can we clap for them? Okay, this debate was close. I gave it by 1 point. Actually, I couldn't give for a while. Then I thought about it and I thought it went one side. The main clash to me was meritocracy. Okay, what happens to the people under meritocracy? Did they have the resources to succeed by having free public education and having a diversity of education opportunities beyond academics? Or were they stifled like birds? They can only study and become study machine, and they will never succeed because some rich person has tuition. So which picture was more compelling to me, in other words? So I gave the debate on that question, which is what sounds more plausible to me. Was it that a student in a meritocracy system of Singapore had opportunities and had options, they had free education and there's some sort of support from the school teachers? Or was it the case that if they tried their best, they will never succeed anywhere because the system of inequality is so entrenched that the moment your daddy has money, that's it, you're getting the EduSave scholarship? On this clash, the debate went to proposition. And I must say that part of the reason the debate went to proposition was because of an aggressive use of point of information to completely confuse the opposition such that they forgot what their arguments were. And the best speaker of the debate was given to proposition 2, which is Kyler Mouse. You can donate this one. Okay. And everyone did very well. Thanks for coming. Hope you learned something. That closes our debate session for the year. Well done, Sec 3s.